Greetings dear viewers and welcome back to the review program. This episode's discussion will be dedicated to the SPECA summit that was hosted in Baku on November 24. Before we dive into discussion, let's watch a series of reports on the summit.
President Shavkat Mirziyoyev held a talk with the President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev within the program of the events of his working visit to Baku. The side discussed issue of further strengthening Uzbek-Azerbaijani relations of friendship and strategic partnership, including the implementation of agreements reached at the highest level. Both parties outlined the satisfaction with high dynamics of systematic and productive contacts. Heads of two states also exchanged views on new areas of mutually beneficial cooperation. The side discussed the promotion of promising projects in chemical, energy, jewelry industries, machine building, construction industry, and other areas. The importance of further expansion of cultural and humanitarian exchange was also emphasized. At the end of the meeting, Shavkat Mirziyoyev invited the President of Azerbaijan to pay an official visit to Uzbekistan at convenient time. President Shavkat Mirziyoyev participated in the first summit of UN Special Program for the Economies of Central Asia, SPECA, in Baku. At the beginning of his speech, the head of Uzbekistan sincerely congratulated all participants of the event on the 25th anniversary of the program, which was established by the Tashkent Declaration in 1998, as well as the adoption of separate UN General Assembly resolution dedicated to this remarkable date. Highlighting the current challenges and threats faced by the countries of the region in the context of geopolitical instability, the leader of Uzbekistan outlined a number of practical initiatives to further strengthen regional cooperation within the SPECA. It was proposed to work out the concept of SPECA 2030 in development together with the experts of UN Economic Commission for Europe and UNESCAP. In order to stimulate interregional trade, the head of state noted the need to prepare a joint action plan which provides for the introduction of world's best practices and experience in eliminating existing barriers and harmonizing measures of technical regulation of the export-import operations. The adoption of such measures, according to the leader of Uzbekistan, will make it possible to increase trade turnover in SPECA region from the current $52 billion to $100 billion by 2030, with the share of industrial products in its structure at 70%. The importance of creating and launching next year the SPECA Trust Fund to support major projects in areas of green economy was emphasized. The fund should actively work with international development institutions, attract financial resources and grants to priority projects and programs on the most favorable terms. Uzbekistan is also ready to make financial contribution to the formation of the fund, Shavkat Mirziyoyev said. The proposal to hold an international forum, Digital Transport Corridors, in Uzbekistan next year was also announced. It was expressed the intention to actively promote major projects on strengthening transport interconnectivity in the region together with specialized UN institutions. President proposed to establish a special high-level working group on food security within SPECA and to hold this first meeting next year in Samarkand. Taking into account the interconnection of spheres of water resources, energy, ecology, and agriculture, the importance of adoption comprehensive new conceptual document of SPECA, a multilateral green strategy was emphasized. In order to continuously and systematically stimulate active initiatives and concrete plans within the framework of the program, it was proposed to establish the SPECA Business Women Council. In addition, the President announced the initiative to award women who have made a significant contribution to the prosperity and economic development of the countries of the region with the International Award SPECA recognition within the framework of the Council. The leader of Uzbekistan called for the establishing working contacts and re-establishing cooperation with Afghanistan within the framework of SPECA. Afghanistan cannot be left alone with its problems. Without establishing an international dialogue with the current government, it will be impossible to achieve any positive results, Shavkat Mirziyoyev said. At the end of his speech, President Shavkat Mirziyoyev confirmed Uzbekistan's commitment to multilateral partnership within the framework of SPECA regional program for the sustainable development and the well-being of the peoples of the region. At this point, the program of events of the working visit of President of Uzbekistan Shavkat Mirziyoyev to Baku came to the end and he left for the Tashkent.
What is SPECA? Why was it hosted after 25 years since its establishment? What is the Middle Corridor? To answer all these questions, we have talked with the Doctor of Economic Sciences, Bakhtiyor Islamov. First of all, I would like to say that we're very pleased to have you in our studio today. Thank you for dedicating your time for this interview. And let's start off with the basics. What is SPECA and where and when was it established?
It is my pleasure and honor to be with you today. And it is a great event we had several days ago. This is SPECA Summit. What's the SPECA? SPECA is the special program for the economies of Central Asia. And its main goal was to increase intra-regional cooperation and integration of Central Asian countries to the world economy. It was established in Tashkent on the 26th of March 1998. And since then, 25 years passed. This year we're celebrating its jubilee. So it was organized together with UN, European Committee, Economic Committee, and ESCAP, Economic and Social Committee for Asia and Pacific. The main goal of the SPECA was to increase intra-regional trade and to stimulate trade between Central Asian countries and to organize regional cooperation. And on this basis, to promote integration to the world economy.
What is the highest governing body of SPECA and what is the role of the SPECA Economic Forum?
The highest governing body so far of the SPECA was the Governing Council, consisting of national coordinators at the level of ministers or deputy ministers. Plus, the chairman of the Governing Council was one of the SPECA participating countries elected on a rotating basis by the Governing Council for 1 year. Of course, in the Governing Council there was representatives at the level of executive secretaries of UN Economic Commission for Europe and UN Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific.
Why was SPECA organized 25 years later of its establishment?
This is a good question. Because of relations between Central Asian republics. They were not very even. There were some problems as for delimitation and demarcation of borders, water, energy, resources, and others. And only 7 years ago, our President Shavkat Mirziyoyev made a special priority relationship with neighboring Central Asian countries. And within a short period of time, our relations with all countries of Central Asia improved sharply and rapidly. And this was the basis for creating a new situation in Central Asia, a new situation not only in bilateral relations, but in multilateral relations as well.
What were the main preparatory steps before the summit?
The main purpose of the summit was, first of all, to make this organization institutionally stronger, to organize some secretariat of the organization, and to meet regularly at the level of heads of states and heads of governments. For example, this year it was in Azerbaijan, next year it will be in Tajikistan. This was decision of the summit to hold next summit of the presidents and prime ministers of these countries in Tajikistan. So it will be institutionally stronger, and it will deal not only with technical issues, but create good political and economic environment overall in the region. So, and new tasks will be more important and for in all aspects, transportation, digitalization, green economy, innovation. In all areas, we need greater cooperation and stronger input in these areas to develop better and to integrate to the world economy.
What are the main points of the UN General Assembly on the SPECA?
Yeah, it is very nice. The resolution of the UN Assembly was adopted just before this summit meeting in Baku. And it creates a good situation on the UN side to promote relations of this regional program. So, for example, it suggested in the UN resolution that it is good to have trust fund for having good financial sources of the program. And also it was mentioned that digitalization of transportation will be also necessary to do it more efficient.
What were the main points of President Shavkat Mirziyoyev's speech, and are there any that you have highlighted for yourself?
He started his speech that this summit is historical one. It was indeed historical. After 25 years, we have this summit at the level of presidents and prime ministers, and it was possible to discuss more strategic issues. In his keynote speech, he suggested 7 priority areas, and his 7 initiatives were very important. The first one, together with experts from UN Economic Commission for Europe and UN Economic Commission for Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific, ESCAP, organized and prepare and develop the SPECA 2030 development concept. It is important to have these goals, strategic goals. He also mentioned that our program should be open. We could invite new member countries, not as honorary guests, but even as members of this program, to create better situation, not regionally, but interregionally, to create a situation when Central Asia, landlocked region, becoming part of the world trade and part of world development. And for that, transport routes are important. So second, within the framework of the program, he suggested to adopt a joint action plan to stimulate regional trade. It is very important for any country, especially countries in transition, to have better market and better access to these markets. The third initiative, this is the creation of SPECA Trust Fund. And our president, of course, supported this idea and suggested this trust fund should promote projects in such areas like green economy, innovation, higher technology, logistics, alternative energy, smart agriculture, creation of modern technologies. Fourth priority area was adoption of the roadmap for digitalization of the process of exchanging data and documents within Trans-Caspian multimodal corridor. So we created a situation when not only cargoes, goods will go through the Trans-Caspian and Black Sea to Europe, but also we should improve it to make it more efficient, to make it faster. And for that it is necessary to use digital technologies. And fifth initiative was connected with ensuring food security. And this is important problem for every country, for us especially, because of scarcity of water. We need to provide a new situation for food security. And therefore he invited a group of higher level working group to work effectively on this program and meet in Samarkand next year to discuss these issues. So the sixth issue is connected with green strategy. He suggests to adopt green strategy. What does it mean? It means that it is necessary to use properly water resources, energy, ecology, and agriculture. according to the UN analysis, states in our region are losing annually about $2 billion because of this water scarcity. In the future, this situation could be worsened. It is very pity, but this is the fact. But a decrease of by 25% of water availability per capita means loss of crops by 40%. So water is life. This is our saying, ancient saying, is becoming more urgent even now. And seventh initiative, this is create the SPECA Business Women Council. Because business ladies becoming more and more active, and in Azerbaijan they had meeting, forum, and everybody could see that business ladies could contribute a lot for cooperation, economic and not only economic cooperation, creating better situation in bilateral and multilateral cooperation between these countries. Plus, he also suggested to establish special prize, SPECA recognition to women who make a great contribution to the prosperity and economic development of our countries and to our common cooperation. So these were the main 7 initiatives of our president, but also he suggested that in the future we should think about inviting representatives from Afghanistan. So it is important to help Afghanistan to resolve many issues in modern time, not to leave it alone with these problems, social, economic, and other problems. You know, our president from the beginning trying to be more cooperative with Afghanistan, and our trade is increasing. We held several summit meetings in Samarkand and in Tashkent on Afghanistan to attract attention of other countries to our neighboring countries. Afghanistan is our neighbor, and we would like better life in Afghanistan. And on the other hand, it is part of Central Asia, linked to 5 our Central Asian republics, bordering with Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. And therefore, it is important to have secure situation in the south of our region. Moreover, to have secure situation to promote trade through Afghanistan, to have new route from Afghanistan. We have railroad to Mazar-e-Sharif, and we are thinking about to creating situation of building railroad to Kabul and Kandahar up to Peshawar in Pakistan, to be able through Afghanistan to go to Peshawar, to Indian Ocean, and trade with India and other South Asian countries.
You have just mentioned the initiatives on the transportation. Let's talk about this in detail. What is the Middle Corridor?
So, Middle Corridor means a corridor in between Trans-Siberian Corridor to Europe and Trans-Asian Corridor to Europe, through Central Asia, from China, Japan, Korea, through Central Asia to Europe. Middle corridors mean corridors through Caspian Sea. And it is especially important today because northern routes are closed because of sanctions against Russia. And commodities from China to Europe are going mainly through the seaside, but it is longer. We can use this middle corridor through Kazakhstan, but Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, plus now we are discussing about new link from Andijan, Osh, Kashgar. And we have already truck road. And now if railroad will be built, so we will have a new middle corridor branch through Uzbekistan, from Andijan to Kungrat. More than 1,000 kilometers of the route will be from Uzbekistan. And then we have situation when we go to Atarao to the north or to Aktau. It will be a new opportunity for us to be linked with Caspian Sea ports, Atarao and Aktau. Today we have opportunity to go to Turkmenbashi port in Turkmenistan through Bukhara and achieve the port of Caspian. Through Caspian, they have special paroms to Baku. And from Baku, there is a route to Georgia. And Georgia has big two ports, Poti and Batumi. And from Poti and Batumi, it is possible to go to Constanța, Romania, in Europe, and to the port of Varna in Bulgaria. So all possibilities give us a new opportunity to be linked to Europe and to trade better with Europe, especially now when GSP Plus for Uzbekistan was prolonged for 4 more years. It means that now we will trade with Europe in such manufacturing goods like textiles and others without any customs, without taxes. It is big market and big opportunity for us. But also we need transportation routes, and this is one of the possibilities. So another possibility was discussed with Turkey. Through Georgia go to Turkey and through Istanbul to southern European countries. But this middle and alternative route, middle corridor through Caspian, this is the middle corridor. According to the rough estimates, the potential of the middle corridor by 2030 will be estimated up to 20 million tons of cargo per year. And this is good not only for our transportation of cargo, but through us Chinese cargo. And it gives us additional profits from transit per kilometer per ton. It is also an important part of our strategy. And also it is connected with such one belt, one route strategy, Chinese strategy as well. And they will meet the expectation to trade with Europe through this middle corridor as well. And as you know, during this summit, 2 documents were adopted. A declaration, Baku Declaration of SPECA countries, plus this middle corridor digitalization of transport routes through the Caspian Sea. And we could see this is very important for us.
In your view, what impact will these 2 declarations have in the future?
Yeah, transportation, this is the mean of increasing of trade, foreign trade. We are double landlocked country. Uzbekistan is unique in this sense. Only Uzbekistan and Liechtenstein has double landlockedness. Not only us, but all our neighbors, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, and Afghanistan, they are landlocked countries. For us to go to the seas, to the ocean, we need to cross at least 2 countries. And therefore, good relations with neighbors, good relations with other countries, and good transportation to Europe and to Asia give us the possibility to be part of the world development and integrate to the world economy and to get advantages of such cooperation.
Thank you for this productive conversation. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you very much for inviting me. For me, it was also very important to share opinions on such important program like SPECA and contribution of Uzbekistan and initiatives of our president at this program. Thank you very much.